Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how to cut and install this arch bead here. This arch only has one of these normal round corner beads that go on it. Sometimes there's two sides, but this one only has one, so it's a little different.
The upright?
What I'm going to do first is I'm going to cut this piece here, this straight piece, and I'm going to cut the length. So I'm going to put it up here, and it doesn't matter, you know, the length really, I want to cut it a little short so it doesn't hit the floor. So I gotta put my finger where I want it, and it doesn't matter exactly the length because you just raise it up from the floor a little bit and make sure that it touches here. As long as it doesn't touch the floor,
That's right? If you put it to the ground and cut it a ½ inch shorter than what you need, you'll be good for any flooring that has to go in.
So this is where I put my mark on my finger, and this is how I'm gonna cut the bead here.
Take a look.
I'm not going to cut it in a big angle. This is the angle that I'm putting on the bead. As you can see, it's about a 15-degree angle. See a 15-degree angle, and I want to cut the tip off here. There's a tip here. Make it square. Alright?
Yeah,
so I'm going to try this on here, just to see if the length is alright. And I can see right now that there's a little bit of space and it's hitting the floor. So I'm going to move it up, you know.
He lifts it.
And then it's off the floor, and I can see that it's lining up pretty good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some mud on here, and I'm going to put this one on. Then I'm going to use it to match up the other piece to it. So I'm going to put about a bit of mud here. This is taping mud, of course. You want to use the taping mud, or else your bead might crack later on.
That's right. Pop off.
There, go turn the heat off.
Perfect.
So I put a bunch of mud on. And slap my bead on like this. And if you use the taping mud, you know, it's forgetful in it a little bit. Like it doesn't set right away. If you're using the glue, it sets right away.
Right
you
away.
can't move it after. So this is good because I can move it after. I can
Adjust it.
And I can cut this round one and then adjust this one a little bit if I need to.
That's right.
So you press on the bead a little hard like this.
In the middle of the bead to squeeze out the mud from either side to go through the holes a little bit there. Just before you do that one side, let's see you squish that a little bit. So
yeah, you just press on the center like this. Just so you can see some of the mud squeezed out through the pinholes there. Then I want to make sure that I fill all the holes too. I don't want any holes. As you can see, they're all filled up.
that's right. And there's some, you'll always see just a little bit here in the tape.
Yeah, here because there's
It's a bevel there, so don't be worried.
So
Don't be too worried about it.
Okay, so this one's on. So I'm gonna do now. Just can you step over here?
Yeah, sure.
I'm gonna use my sawhorse.
What? Tricky time.
My round arch bead. This is round arch bead. It's got slits in it, so it curves.
So it bends real nice and easy.
So it bends real nice. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with this corner here, because it's a little trickier. And now I'm gonna just put it up here and see what I have to do with it. I see when I put it up here that I kind of gotta cut it like this.
Yeah, probably about 2 or 3 of those clips out. Yeah.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut it like this here.
I'm watching.
Just like that. It should almost fit. Are you gonna try it on? Oh, look at that.
See, that's a beautiful cut right there.
Am I good or am I good?
Yeah, that's nice. When he puts the mud on and see where it's touching right here, see how it's touching the wall? That's beautiful.
That was the first cut too, and that's alright, so that's pretty good.
That's pretty good. Let's get you cutting that other side.
I'm gonna make sure that it stays up there around. You know, you don't want to cut it too short, so I'm gonna cut it a little long at first here.
Just to play with it.
Just so I don't have all this bead to play with. You're filming the ground. Or else it's real hard to play with it because it's so long. Okay, so now it's shorter.
The one side fits tight.
Now I can see, I put it up here and I can see, again, I'm going to cut it a little long just to see what happens, alright? So this one, on this corner, you want to cut it at about a 15-degree angle, the same as this other side here that we cut before. So we gotta go like this.
Yeah, your head in the way.
So see, I got it cut at about a 15-degree angle. I'm gonna cut this tip a little bit because it's sticking out.
Cool.
I'm gonna try it up. It should be a little long. See?
See how it's long there?
It's a little long.
It's not quite fitting right.
So now I know that I'm getting real close and I just need to adjust it just a little bit.
Shave a little bit more off.
So I shaved a little bit more off and I'm gonna try it again. It could be long again.
Yeah.
Oh, we're getting really close. I think.
How's that one side? See? So Phil would probably leave this side because it's right there, but he would start cutting this back a little bit just so that it starts
It's just
away.
a tiny little bit too tight. Just a tad. Like really not
much at all.
Much here.
No.
Okay, I'm pretty sure that now it's good. I'm just gonna go ahead and put some mud.
Pound of the taping muds.
Make sure that the corners have mud. It's really important that there's mud in the corners. You want your bead to stick in the corner. That's often where it kind of lifts up, is in the corners. And when it starts lifting, it sucks because your bead can pop later and stuff.
It makes for ugly.
Fun.
That's right. It makes for ugly. If you're really looking for the very quality way of doing things, make sure that you have enough mud in behind your bead so that you can play with it a little bit. Like right now, Phil's adjusting the upright.
Yeah, the upright's a little too high, so I'm just gonna push it down a tiny little bit.
So if he fixes, is it good?
Yeah, see, I pushed it down a tiny little bit. Look, I gotta clean it out.
Look at that. Just
see
a
how
little
it fits perfectly
bit.
now?
You see?
You don't want these corners to stick out. Like, you don't want this one to be way out here.
No.
And this corner. You want these corners to match up perfectly like that, kind of.
If there's a little gap here, that's okay.
Yeah,
that's
a little gap is okay.
Because you're gonna fill it with mud and you're gonna make it, you know, float it a little bit there.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start wiping.
Do you need a round one?
No.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna give it a quick wipe here. Now, this arch piece is gonna keep wanting to fall down. So we need something to hold it up for the time. So what I like to use is I use drywall screws. Like this. And I like to use screws instead of nails because when it dries up, you can actually twist out the screw and it comes out real easy. A nail will actually, you have to pull on it and sometimes you pull the bead off and it pops. So what you do is just where it's sticking out there, I can see here that it's not staying well, so I'm going to push it up and I'm just going to tack a screw in it. And see?
And it holds it there a little bit tighter, eh?
And I'm just going to make sure that the top and the other corner here stays right where I put it. I don't want it to. Okay? So now it's in there.
It's just enough to hold the bead so that while it's setting up, it doesn't drop down on you.
Okay, so I'm going to wipe off the extra mud here.
As much as you can, yeah. With the nails in your way, the screws in your way.
Try to fill up as many little holes as I can. So now, we have a tool for this, but you probably won't, so I do it with my fingers. You want to fill these holes with the taping mud here so that your next coat is a lot easier to do.
Yes. So that when you put on your next coat, those holes are filled and the shrinking in the first coat doesn't shrink up into the bead.
The taping mud is a bit stronger than normal mud because it's got some glue in it. So when you put it in these holes, it likes to stay there better than when you use finishing mud.
Yes.
So this is done.
That one is done.
This is how we would leave the arch for about, I don't know, 3-4 hours minimum before we give it a coat. Cool.
Thanks, Phil.
Thank you.